Welcome to a new video and a new IEM review. This time around the KZ PR1 Pro, and this one is sent to me by KZ themselves, and it's my first planar headset or IEM that is very popular in the last couple of months, or even year, I would say. The last year brought us so many new planars. I think starting with the 7Hz timeless that started the trend of new planar devices, and lots of more planar headsets then followed. And also KZ or KZ is doing their best in terms of the planar game, and this is the PR1 Pro. They had one generation before, the KZ PR1, and this is the Pro version, an improved version of their own inbuilt planar driver, and this comes with a 13mm driver here, which they put in-house developed, and this is very interesting. I think for under 90 euros, 89 euros, something like this, you get the entry-level planar headset, isn't it? Yeah, we will check this out here in a small unboxing and review. So let's get started. So the KZ PR1 Pro, it's a pretty easy box. We know these KZ boxes already. So we have the IEMs in here. We have, when we open it up, the latch, we have here packages where one houses the cable and the other one houses the IEM ear tips, which is pretty cool. And let me show you the IEMs. So here we have the IEMs themselves with the nice cable that comes included. You can see it's a typical, how's it called, C pin, or I think C pin. You can see the one with the housing of pins there. So they are here inside this little housing, and they go on pretty easily, as you can see here. This is the design of the planar headset, as you can see here. Very cool indeed looking. And we have also special ear tips as well on them, and I have to clean them up a bit, but let me show you this one. The other one is a bit dirty. As you can see here, these are foam tips, so they keep the form basically for a second, so they can fit into your ear and fit nicely in your ear without any issues, as you can see here. And I can put them in, press them in, and then you will hear like they expand a bit, so they get the best sealing. And this is a very good sealing that you get with them, better than all the other KZ IEMs that I tested so far, even the true wireless ones. So yeah, with these foam tips you get very good sealing for sure, and these help with sound quality then as well, because you have this good sealing. The only issue that they have is, of course, like I'm trying to get a bit of like sweat and other things away from them. They get dirty. They get dirty pretty quickly. And this was an adapter that fall off. This is the adapter, USB Type-C adapter to 3.5mm that I usually use for listening to them. It's an LG adapter with their own kind of DAC inside there, which works on all my USB-C devices if I ever need it. So this is one of the downsides of those, and they ship those foam tips. These are the large ones. By default, they are the mid-size ones, and they have also a smaller version as well available. They get pretty dirty. This is one of the downsides of them. I really would like them to ship also like the normal spring tips, or how they called, star tips or something like this. What they shipped, for example, here on the AS16 Pro. So those here, those rubber material ones, as an alternative maybe to those super sealing ones, foamy tips. Otherwise I have to swap between them because I don't have another pair, maybe somewhere else. But anyway, the housing is made out of plastic, though I think it has like here a back plate that is metallic. that you can see here, and this metallic backplate has some openings. And yeah, we have a planar driver inside. The planar driver is different from the dynamic driver and also the BA, the balanced armature driver that we know already. It is usually a bit bigger, and then it uses a different kind of way of producing sound. Here you can see it through the half transparent case, which is pretty nice. And this is a very unique sounding kind of earbud then, and I really would like you to try it out, and I think KZ also wants you to try it out, and I think this is one of the offerings that they are bringing out here, which allows you to do this. And by the way, we have also openings here on the side. I'm not sure if you can see it there. There's also openings there. I'm not sure if all of them are really open there or just for decoration, but I think there's one or two of them really open there for some kind of ventilation or something like this. And yeah, it fits nicely in the ear, as I said. We have to talk a bit about the cable. You can see the cable has like this pre-configured like ear hook design here, memory kind of. And we have also, which is pretty nice, a very premium cable. It's not the standard cable that you get in the cheaper IEMs from KZ. This is a more premium cable, and if I would be better with the cable management, you would see that tangling them is very hard, but I'm a master of tangling cables, so I can do it. No, it is really hard. You can see this is the cable itself and tangled around my keyboard. Yeah, keyboard cable. Never mind. So this is the cable itself, and this is the most thing that can tangle around stuff. Everything else you can see nice and braided, and not of an issue at all. We don't have a chin slider here, so it's like a split only. And here we have a nice braided cable as well. And yeah, you can see from the material here, yes, this is pretty good and pretty awesome to wire up. We have a 3.5mm straight plug, as you can see here. And yeah, this straight plug can be used to plug it into almost every device. Like I said, I'm using a USB-C dongle on devices that need USB-C. Otherwise, I can also use my Sony Xperia devices, just like my Xperia Pro I here, and just plug it in. And this provides a lot of power as well for them to be driven. Also, I have to get a little bit higher in terms of volume there, a bit on those phones. But usually it's working fine. With this DAC is working fine as well at 60%. No issues there at all in terms of volume. Otherwise, you can also try to make it a little bit sounding better with things like these. This is the FiO BTR5, and I can plug it in here as well, connect via Bluetooth or USB-C as well to a device, and then I have very good sound, not too shrill, not too quiet, the perfect volume. Otherwise, yeah, the build quality is okay, I would say. Especially I like the cable really, because this cable is way better. This kind of cable is way better than the cable that they ship with their entry levels. This is the other cable. This is the ZNA from KZ, or even the AS16 Pro, which I would not say it's entry level with its drivers and so on, has this like entry level kind of cable that you can feel the difference in quality. It's not like a bad cable, but you can feel the difference, and this feels like a proper cable that you don't have to change at all. You can just simply use, and it's a good cable. The build quality, it's plastic, fantastic, with a little bit of silver there coating. It is okay. It's lightweight, which is, I think, what is good. If I put them into my ear, you will see that. Let's maybe put in the left one in my ear. You can see that, yeah, even I'm taking the big foams here. If I put them in, they're sticking out a little bit, a tiny bit, but yeah. Really sleeping, I wouldn't try to, because it would push into my ear too much there. But the sealing is so great, I can almost not hear me. If I put the other one, I don't hear myself at all. So it is really wonderful with them. And yeah, a little bit sticking out, but otherwise fitting very nicely here for this pretty large 13mm driver, planar driver that we have here in these headphones. Otherwise, what I can tell you about the sound quality, this is, I think, also very important. KZ PR1 Pro. KZ had already the PR1 that was highly regarded, but they had some issues there, and they just simply removed all the issues basically in the PR1 Pro. And the cool thing about this one, I have my cheat sheet here, is we have this is one of the first KZ headphones that I could hear without the emphasis on bass, which is really nice. That doesn't mean that we don't have any bass, or it is like shrill, or we have too much mids or highs. No, it means it's not emphasizing, just like the AS16 Pro, the ZNA, or other sets, SA08 Pros. The true wireless headsets that come with balanced armatures that have very much emphasis on bass, and good bass, very rumbly, punchy bass, but where they forgot about the mid-range and the highs, where the highs are like a little bit weird. Here they don't put so much emphasis on bass, so that means they're still humping. They're not getting so deep and so rumbling as all the others, but they're still producing good bass, and the overall sound, because they're not like concentrating so much on bass, the mids and the highs are especially good. And I really like this kind of thing, because it's like my personal taste, where sometimes I like to have the real rumble, especially in movies and so on, but for music listening I like to have also clearer mids and highs doing their job fine, and these are those. So it's a different kind of tuning, not the typical KZ tuning that is like lots and lots of bass and bass heavy. These are more neutral sounding, at least for KZs they're more neutral sounding. Lots of details as well there, which I really like. So those planar headsets give you a bit of detail if they're tuned well, and I think these are tuned very nice. The sealing here of the foam tips is nice, as I said. It's not preferred by everyone, I know this, so you have to get probably different kind of ear tips then as well if you don't like foam tips. Otherwise, I like those foam tips because they seal very well, and you get then of course this more punchy bass than without those here. But they're also very isolating for noise. So running around with those outside, or walking even outside, might be a bit of a pain, because you don't hear your surroundings so much. So these are more, I think, for listening indoors, but not running around, because it might be a bit dangerous there, because they're isolating very well. In general, it is a warm sounding IEM, so it's not, I said neutral. For KZ it's very neutral, though we still have like vocals, for example, they sound a little bit warm, a tiny little bit warmer than completely neutral ones, I would say. So a bit of neutral but warmish kind of sound, tending towards the warm kind of. What I noticed is that with some S sounds, they can be a bit harsh. So the tuning is like, the highs they put a little bit down at the 7 kilohertz region, but they're also getting up and have some spikes there at some regions that are a bit of harsh sounding, and especially in S louds. So if you have a lot of S louds in your songs and so on, then it might be a bit harsh there, here and there. This is what I noticed for sure. The soundstage is medium, I would say. It is not like the biggest, it's not like in your face only, it's like this, and the voices are definitely forward, so you hear the voices like here. Soundstage is here you hear the voices. The voices are definitely emphasized, especially the male and the female's one. The female get a little bit of warmish kind of tone as well, according to the whole sound, that is a bit of warmish, and this is something that you have to live with, or not. Anyways, KZ PR1 Pros, I can definitely recommend them. These are my favorite KZ headphones so far, because I like the sound, the more neutral kind of sound that is especially very good for lots of details, lots of vocals. You can listen, this is the perfect all-rounder, I would say, the perfect all-rounder set from KZ. Otherwise, you have like the other ones that I told you about with BA drivers and one dynamic driver, something like this, or 8 BAs each side. They are more towards rock and bass heavy kind of music genres. These you can listen to everything, and everything sounds fine. Like I said, with like a small exception, if you're like a little bit like this S sound, sibilant sound, it might be a bit piercing sometimes in certain tracks, But otherwise it is like very, very universal when it comes to this, and I really like those. One of the best KZs from the sound profile so far that I heard, and I like the premium cable, I like everything. Yeah, if you want a cheap but good, well-all-rounder planar headset IEM, these are the ones that I could recommend you for under 90 euros right now, the KZ PR1 Pros. I'm really excited by them, and I will keep listening to them for sure. Only thing I need for my smartphone eventually would be like a cable with a mic, but that's everything. Otherwise, like, yeah, these are really, really good IEMs, and I can recommend them to you, the KZ PR1 Pros. If you have some questions, you can write them down in the comment section. That's everything for this short little video review of the KZ PR1 Pros. Until the next time, bye.